From the heart of the savor of the 100 deities of the Shita, on the peak of a cloud resembling a cloud of extensive white fresh curd, King of Dhamma, Nisan Blossom Drapa, please come here together with your sons. In the sky before me, in lion throne, lotus and moon, my faithful Guru smile with delight, supreme field of merit from a mind of faith, please abide for 100 eons to spread your teachings. Your holy mind is the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech with its excellent explanation is an ear ornament for those of good fortune. The body is radiantly beautiful with God. To you are meaningful to see, hear, and remember are prostrate. Pleasant drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incense, lights, scented waters, and so forth. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated, I offer to you the supreme fruit of merit. Whatever known virtues of body, speech, and mind, especially those of opposite to the three vows that I have collected from beginning this time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. You strive for much learning and practice, and may your freedoms and richnesses meaningful by abandoning the eight worldly concerns. Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your conduct. Perfect, pure, holy gurus from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of the Dhammakaya, please let fall and rain of profound and extensive Dhamma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued exactly as they need. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular may cause the essence of perfect, pure, Losam Drakpa's teachings to shine forever. Sa shi pe ju jun shin me to dra re ra lin shin ni de gen pa di sang yin shi tu mi de o wa yi do ku nam da shin na cho pa shu. By the merits of having offered this mandala, Lama Tsongkhapa and his two sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teaching of the victorious one, Losam Drakpa, who is the morality of the eminently pure way of life, and whose courage and extensive conduct the sons of victorious ones, and accomplish the yoga of the two stages of supreme bliss and feminines. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamiyataya. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, hollow beams of white light are emitted from the hearts of the perfect pure Father and Sons, and combining into one enter my crown. White nectar, the color of milk, flows down from the opening of the pure white. Cleanse all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karma, obscurations, and the imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure as crystal, as clear as crystal. So we'll do that 5-line mixima 3 times. Nimetze wetze jinchen rezi, jime kembe wampo yape yahan, dupu malo jamze sanwe da, kanchi kembe tsunge tsunga pa, losandra peshan vasova. Nimetze wetze jinchen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yahan, dupu malo jamze sanwe da, kanchi kembe tsunge tsunga pa, losandra peshan vasova. Nimetze wetze jinchen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe Dubu malu jonze sanwe da kanchen kembe tsungen tsonga pa lo sandra pe shabla so. Sangye chedan tsoji chonan la chanchen badu dami kapsu je dagi chushin ibe tsono rola beche sangye rupa sho. Sangye chedan tsoji chonan la chanchen badu dami kapsu je dagi chushin ibe tsono Rola Benche Sangye Drupa Sho Sangye Chodan Tsopi Chonan La Chancho Badu Dami Kyapsu Chi Dagi Chishi Ibe Tsono Rola Benche Sangye Drupa Sho Sangye Chodan Tsopi Chonan La Chancho Badu Dami Kyapsu Chi Dagi Chishi Ibe Tsono Rola Benche Sangye Drupa Sho 강기 tulzini zone tawa tongje dambi chere dambi chunu tenze kodam kelar chanze lo. Good morning everyone. Kazing ngado ya Lamrim gi zinde nimu tela
Jerumuchiki Lamrim Nenjur, Dubat, the song they were us. The things that the man chick and on the chicken, the young Mardania, and Samson yet Dinima, Estes chick, and Shia got to Nas, Samsons, the Tirindina, so and some Koran, Sajang Navy, Yangadumba, the Jones, Lagos, tea, and Sajang Navy, Yangadumba, tea. The Lamrim and Gandalagam Nonola, Chansan, do their child.
So good morning, everyone. We study in the Friday morning session Lamrim Kappa's moving presentation on the stairs of the path of enlightenment. And we begin this session, first of all, with reciting a Guru Yoga practice of Lamrim Kappa. So that was the first recitation that we did at the beginning of this session. So it is called the Hundreds of Deities of the Land of Joy. That's Lamrim Kappa's Guru Yoga. And Geshe thought of maybe every once in a while adding some explanation of Lamrim Kappa Guru Yoga. After all, at this point in time, we're looking at a section that covers the way to accumulate the collections and purify negativities and obscurations as something that prepares our mind to the actual part of the session. And we do that as part of the explanation of the 6 preparatory practices that lead one to the actual meditation practice. So Geshe thought of adding, an explanation of a few lines from Lamrim Kappa Guru Yoga as part of the 6 preparatory practices.
Diri Dinza, Tachidang, Shugumara, Chidangi Lamrim Nenjur, the Lamrim Nenjur, Lamki Souls. Someone thinking Lamki so the Geshe Yatamba, Lamki so Chagoras, and the Nahani that you Piglia Castle the chick, Ne Chansan duting in Gi, Lamrim Nenjur, Tumomai chick, and Gandhi Hajamati, and Chagiawati, Tampung Geotambo and Sumudu Sra.
So Guru Yoga is considered to be the life vein of the path. This is what gives life to our progression along the stairs of the path. And as such, all the key points of the path are included within a practice of Guru Yoga. So we have here a unique practice of Guru Yoga, a practice that is called the Hundreds of Deities of the Land of Joy, or in Tibetan, Gaden Lhagema, who was said to be a really unique or special practice by many great masters of the past.
There the Gandhi Hajamalayan, Tumo by Yoga Karavesena, Lamrim Nenjur, Penatachi, Nadan Devigi, and Lamrim Nenjur to Sulaya, Pigi, and Lama Count Jen Tansagi, and Ne, and Count Pevsagi, Ne, and Shayan Count Sobata, Silch in the Goyas, in a Doshoki, Lamrim Nenjur Mang Chelia, Kaptu Lama Goya Matobigi, Lama Count Jen Tansagi, Ne. La Sobadi and Saltavia New Redos. Is a Gandhan Hajaminolia, the mixation the Yoris.
So we said that it is regarded by many great masters of the past as being a special Guru Yoga practice, a unique Guru Yoga practice. So what makes it so special? Well, you have key points that are taken from this tantric system, the mantra system, that are included within this particular practice. So, for example, when you do a Guru Yoga practice, you invite the lamas to reside in the space in front of you. You visualize them in front of you. So here in this particular practice, there is also a visualization of a celestial mansion, the residence for the lamas that you invite to reside in the space in front of you. In the sutra system, there are practices where you invite certain beings to take place in this space before you, but it is not very common to come across explanation of the residence or the ineffable mansion that they reside therein. Here in this practice of Lamrim Kappa, not only you invite Lamrim Kappa to the space in front of you, but there are also instructions on how to visualize the residence of Lama Tsongkhapa.
Diri dinzada nonzuta di pigi mi bossal matab ko pena gandha ngajin ko mitugan sen mi bossal matab ko ya pigi khasorta negan chador je ko zontu ki ten devel ko tata chi ani du samang mun rogo kabdula ya ani kyamdro chi kabdula ya kyayu sal tar tan jaras kyayu sal tar tan di in gandha haja magi lamin nenju komika buta ani kyayu sal tar tan di in koron chi ma susugi sal tar tu bai no ya ko mixe thoma ba ji yungro asro.
So you start to build up your visualization before you begin the actual practice. So in our practice of Guru Yoga, Lama Tsongkhapa, let's look at that, page 7. We say, from the heart of the savior of the 100 deities of the Shita on a peak of cloud resembling a clump of extremely white, fresh curd, king of Dhamma, omniscient Losam Drakpa, please come here together with your son. So and then we start to visualize the way in which Lama Tsongkhapa abides or resides in the space in front of us. It is done in conjunction with the 6 preparatory practices that we started to look at in the previous session. So cleaning your dwelling and setting up representations of body, speech, and mind, laying out offerings, sitting in posture and mental attitude, then visualization of the merit field, right? So it is, so point 4 is visualization of the field of merit. And at the beginning of Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga, there is a description of how to visualize that field of merit. Then as we do that, within the context of the 6 preparatory practices, we also go for refuge, and we visualize in front of us the objects of refuge. So we visualize the objects of refuge, we take refuge in them together with the beings within the field of accumulation, the field of merit.
Nedamasu tang toshin saltaba nanshin roji chagwaresra rangi dungi nankalaya ani singi gi devi gi ani chichinguchi saltab ani chiti tolaya pi tachi kaso tachi shindong pi pemi tumbo ani pem chungi yawachik saltab tindi yeke chichinpa saltami ta di perum tambi tolaya ani rangi ani tenjen sawe lamata ngoye mebe ani tembo tumbi ombo chi salta
Pare chuni sena dila rimba chuni amena.
rimba chuni pemi dama chuni rimba chuni
Chizan pemi dama chuni daga marwa doksun.
re those kanji tinma ani lama yedam sanji chansan pao kan chegyon do sukor didi rimba jora oti
chizan dama doks marwa
kandas
ta dila metod dama se dila metod dila dende lama dende re yoro chizan dimma imba
re bharam dawchik re.
So you visualize the merit field in front of you, the field of accumulation. And as Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga says, in the sky before me, on a line throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure Guru smiles with delight. So first of all, you visualize a line throne in front of you. But the way that it is visualized is that the whole visualization is constructed upon a lotus flower. And on top of the lotus flower, there are different beings that you visualize, and this whole construction has 12 layers. At the top layer, you visualize the Lord of the teaching, the Buddha, the Bhagavan.
이제 더 디기 두가니마 아니 가서다 외사지 디 아니 외사디 띵수 아니 조다 지하스숨 로 아니 지하스숨 이 기기 지름치 두가니 다 외사 촉시 아니 촉시 딘디지살 거고도스
지금 담보데
템비 두가니마 노사트 디 지하스숨 쉬어야지 아니 기기 지름치 두가니 외사 촉시라 트레니 다 남기 아니 이엘이야 외사디 아니 딩총직 이에데 용직 갭총의 외사 시트.
So then there are rays of light that emanate from the heart of the Lord of the teaching, the Buddha. So from the ray of light that emanates from the Buddha's heart comes Lama Tsongkhapa. And from the heart of Lama Tsongkhapa, rays of light emanate. And they emanate to the four directions.
Teda digi penata ye chog wesa di ni do sutrejin wesa digi ta so di jidun chamgoni jubige ani gyachin jubige and lama jubanam ani dus ta jerumchi ye chonma ani shuyabachi salta.
So then to the right of Lama Tsongkhapa as rays of light emanate to the four directions, and some of them emanate to the right of Lama Tsongkhapa. You visualize that the lineage of lamas that propounded and explained the tradition or the system of the vast and extensive conduct, which means all the lineage that came from Maitreya, all of them are taking place to the right of Lama Tsongkhapa.
다 이런 쪽에서 디니 이니 따지 아니 지든 잠비야니 규비 아니 사무다 규기 아니 자벨라만남 아니 제르무치다 이런 쪽 아니 디니 남카는 and those and shuyabachi.
And then to the left of Lama Tsongkhapa, you have the lineage of lamas that are associated with the lineage of the profound view. They are associated with the lineage that that came from Manjushri. They are taking their seat to the left of Lama Tsongkhapa.
다 갸초키 외사디니 유니 마타지 냠니 진럽 기비 라마 냠니 진럽 기비 라마 남 아니 외사디니 마 아니 슈여바치.
To the back of Lama Tsongkhapa is there also rays of light that emanate to the back of Lama Tsongkhapa. You have the lineage of lamas, the lineage of lamas that propounded the blessings of practice. They take place at the back of Lama Tsongkhapa.
단 뒤에 쪽에 외사디니 마 에시 만체 이 쪽으로 라 이쪽이 남칸 마 딩니 트비 와서 디기체티 마 아니 장라야 춘정 무스트비기 아니 판델라마나 아니 슈겨바치.
Then you visualize that in front of Lama Tsongkhapa, and you can say that it's in front of Lama Tsongkhapa with a slight angle to the right. Come the lineage of lamas that you have direct connection with. So you have some Dhamma connection, Dhamma contacts with particular lamas in this life. So you visualize that they are also invoked by Lama Tsongkhapa, and they take their place in front of Lama Tsongkhapa with a slight bend or slight angle to the right. So when you just think about it like that, and it's just in the space in front.
제 무스 비기려야 아니 춘지 수사기 남아는 살다서디 둥기 남 같은 살다고 와서 당간은 그 당간은 이제 시기는 예셔서 지원님들이 수사기요 말아.
Now, when Geshe explains it like that, explains it in a way that it is depicted in tanka. So when you look at a tanka, a religious drawing, it is a two-dimensional drawing. So it's hard to really depict the lineage of lamas that come at the front. Right? To the front, you have those lamas that you receive teachings from in this life. You have this particular or special connection with those lamas. They're supposed to be visualized in front of Lama Tsongkhapa, but when you look at tankas, it's hard to really see them exactly in the front. So they're depicted somewhere to the side.
간지 딘자다 tembo tumbiongbo 아니 지주국들 tembo tumbiongbo 두가니마 아니 제압스 수트 디기기 제런 것이 두가라야 그래서 초즈를 그래서 초즈를 되는마 아니 야친주기 사무다기 양내 진내기 준정문도 남은 간지 아니 라마 댕아 아니 댕아 여바디 아니 세우지 아니 살다 고고레스.
So what have we got so far? Just let's summarize the visualization so far. So we started off with the teacher, the Buddha, the Lord of the teachings. Rays of light come out of his heart. And Lama Tsongkhapa is seated, you could say, at the tip of those rays of light. Rays of light emanate from the heart of Lama Tsongkhapa to the four directions. On the rays of light to the right of Lama Tsongkhapa, you have the lineage of the vast and extensive practice, the lineage that came from Maitreya. To the left of Lama Tsongkhapa on those rays of light, you have the lineage of the profound view, the one that came from Manjushri. To the back of Lama Tsongkhapa, we have the lineage of the lamas associated with the blessings of practice. And in front of Lama Tsongkhapa, you have the lineage of lamas that you have a particular or direct connection with in this life. Which means that if you consider Lama Tsongkhapa sitting in the middle and around him are those four groups of lamas, you have 5 clusters of lamas altogether. So in terms of visualizing the field of accumulation, and within that field of accumulation, you have the objects of refuge. These are the objects of refuge. So you might recite the words of going for refuge. In your mind, you have faith and reverence to the lineage of lamas, Lama Tsongkhapa and all the other lamas. So that constitutes your going for refuge. When you recite the words, you might say, Namo Gurubhya, which means I pay homage to the Buddhas, to the Gurus.
아니 랑기엘라야 아니 라마 댕아티 직시 아니 마차 바르도 아니 라마 겹스 쇼세기 아니 camru dan shugo sares 원이잖아 아주 camru 나노라야 gyudem jengi shiboch sejos gyudem jengi shibosedi camru 칸이 camru tenchi 아니 디기 텐데 샘라샤니 샘라 비기 아니 소 말레 바르도 아니 땡고야
Now we started with the Buddha, the Lord of the teaching. So you should think of the Buddha as being indivisible in nature from your own root lama. All right, so at the very top, like the crown ornament of all this visualization is the Buddha, that is a single nature, one entity with your own Lama. And then you visualize all the other Lamas, Lama Tsongkhapa, rays of light that are emitted to the four directions, inviting all the other groups of Lamas. And you spend some time in trying to build up this visualization and in your mind to become very clear about the details in that visualization. And all along, you continue to recite your the line of paying homage. Namo Gurubhya, or I pay homage to the lamas, to the gurus. That constitutes the visualization of the refuge field or the field of merit. And also you go for refuge. So when you spend some time in repeating that line, I go for refuge to the lamas, or I pay homage to the lamas, I pay homage to the gurus, spend some time in trying as much as you can to enhance the clarity that you have of the field of refuge, of that field of accumulation. And when you recite that line, Namo Gurubhya, or I pay homage to the lamas, then make sure that you don't just say the words, but that your mind is completely mixed, completely involved with that line, so that it becomes a heartfelt notion of paying homage to the gurus.
There do see any Lama just said Sani, Sasa, any figure, Tebajang, Kantindi, Stony, the Kanji Lama Dingagi, and Tukanima, that we said about to me about trip, Mubachi. We said the Randang, any Tachi Namki Tadanyambi, any Simja Tamjiki, any Joan Mang Tambachik, Mubachi Gores.
So as much as you can, you recite that line. I pay homage to the lamas, I go for refuge to the lamas. And you visualize then that rays of light emanate from this, from the lamas. So the middle four groups of lamas around Lama Tsongkhapa. So rays of light emanate from those five classes, and they touch upon you and all other sentient beings that extend to the reaches of space.
Reta was at June Timber Danny, any castle Dutch any Yons Combatorch, Mevachina Digosares, T. Kambi Togi, and Lugi, Lunga Yisungi, and Didu Tamji, and Taxon Yambiki, and Mevachis.
And as you visualize that rays of light are striking you and all other sentient beings, you visualize that they enter into your body from the crown. They completely fill your body. And all negativities and obscurations of body, speech, and mind are completely purified.
That the color that's rangi any Luna Yisum, that's Yons Taba Mivicalaya, young was about to live a tricky. Any rangi join matumi, rangi luyons to come, tell a ten that randy yam becomes Mivachigors, tell a ten that any lami kuson to sunki, and it chillap tamsi, topsu yambi, and Mivachigores.
So you visualize that you're completely purified, that all your obscurations of body, speech, and mind are completely gone. They're completely purified. And again, you visualize that inestimable rays of light emanate from these five clusters, and they enter into your crown and the crowns of all sentient beings that extend to the reaches of space. And you visualize that you attain the blessings of body, speech, and mind of the lamas.
Till that indically, the Laman Kelchita, and Sangila Kelchos Laundi, any tea. Kasota Chirangi Bilia, Tanjiki, Lama number set up Sagi, Panriba Di Tolaya, and the Yedam Sunday Jixon Subi, and Sanji and Yedam La Soba, Yon Soba, and Saltap, Titolia, Saltaps. Now,
at the beginning of this explanation, Geshe said that there are different levels or different, you can say there is a stack of beings that you visualize in front of you. At the very top, you have the Buddha, then you have Lama Tsongkhapa, those lineages of lamas that we've explained up until now. Then you visualize also below them, slightly below, there are the three main deities of highest Yoga Tantra: Guhya Samaja, Chakasambhara, and Vajrabharava. You visualize the meditational deities, Buddhas, and so forth, all of them within that field of accumulation.
Deta idam dish sumgita chi tunkor re ani idam sandi jisam re ta chi ta idam mambu yoros ta yong sobadi ani chogutugin number chengi ani sangi idam yong sobadi ani kadzu tudu jigi salta go resra.
So not only you visualize these three main deities, Guhya Samaja, Chakasambhara, and Yamataka, you also visualize other deities in their complete form. You visualize the Kalachakra deity and any other meditational deities. All of them are supreme Nimanakaya, supreme emanation body.
Tadini chöl kasa sanjil japsu sagi sanjil japsu sagi ani kamro di sachi di tokita ani re danji gita ani sangi ani yedam la sobi ani tugani mangwe sapautu me wache ani rangi chuon shu ani di toki ani rangi lunga yisini chubata yang wesa shu ani di toki ta chik ani sangi yedam ani samaglo ani kosum tu danji rangi samla tosun nyambi ani mebache dian pigla danji ge ani lama la japsu sa nanshingi ani salta budas.
And as you visualize these yidams, these meditational deities, which are Buddhas, so you visualize yidams, you visualize Buddhas, you can then recite, I go for refuge to the Buddhas. And so before we started with, I pay homage to the lamas, or I go for refuge to the lamas. Now as you visualize these deities, which are Buddhas, or you can say deities and Buddhas, you can recite, I go for refuge to the Buddhas. As you do that, you visualize that rays of light emanate from them. And again, they enter into your crown and the crown of all sentient beings. And all your negativities and obscurations are completely purified. And again, rays of light emanate from these meditational deities and the Buddhas. They enter into your crown and you visualize that you attend the blessings of body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas.
Tilda, that chöl japsu said the sig song kaluya and Taran res that chödi and lama yedam sangi and somba nanshingi and tigi tugyugi and lamji dembatan and gobi dembi du chödi chöl japsu si chödi dichagores.
So you recite a go for refuge to the lamas, a go for refuge to the Buddhas. Then next is going for refuge to the Dhamma. So you visualize also the purification that is enacted by the Dhamma and the blessings that you receive by the Dhamma. And you visualize that those rays of light that emanate from the gurus, from the yidams, from the Buddhas, are in essence the true paths and true cessations in the mind stream of the Buddhas, in the mind stream of the Yidams, in the mind stream of the Gurus. So all these actual Dhamma jewel, true paths, true cessations, are coming to you in the form of rays of light. They enter through your crown, they purify your negativities and obscurations of body, speech, and mind. And through that, you also attain the blessings of true paths and true cessations from the mind stream of these great beings.
Control D and it Lama Denga Saviaki, Lama Nambigi, Dudelaya, Lama Rangi Sombigi, any any body number change, Chudi, any body number change, and Lama Rangi Dula Yovachi, Salta Gores.
And as you use 5 classes of lamas, then you can also think that teachings that come from those lamas, they take the form of Dhamma texts, Dhamma scriptures, and you visualize those Dhamma texts, vast array of Dhamma texts in front of these lamas.
데리다 아니 디컬이야다 출력적 세기 아니 시기 송토니 아니 딘디기 포디 넘버 쟁기 아니 골럼 디기 취디 토나마 외사파도비와 트지 아니 랑기 조니 슈 아니 류용스칸 아니 룽아이스 디바용스 타송냠비 메바 단진낭지 시에레도스.
And also you can visualize that rays of light are emitted from this text. And this text represent true paths and true cessations. So those rays of light are emitted from the text. They enter into your crown. And just like before, first off, you visualize that all your obscurations of body, speech, and mind are completely purified. And then you visualize that you attain the blessings of body, speech, and mind.
Teri yang 외사파도 메바 트지다 랑 류비기 아니 녀견 탐제 용스 타사비 질야다 외사파도 메바 트지네 디랑기 조니 슈다 간지 아니 라마 예담 아니 산지 아니 찬슴 대다기 아니 투규기 골롱 디비기 아니 최탐제 아니 랑기 길야 지 용스 톱스 냠비 로 아니 제ለም 주스 냠나 디고서리 야슈다 용스 톱스 냠바이나 베실랍 셰르스 도스라.
And as you think of the true paths and true cessations that are coming to you in the form of rays of light from these lamas, they enter into your crown, and you think that first of all, you're completely purified. But then the next step is to visualize that you attain the blessing. You can even top it up. You can make it more powerful. You can think that not only that you attain the blessings, you think that I attain true paths and true cessations in my mind stream.
어디다 드니 겐들로 잡수셔야지. 겐들로 잡수셔서가야 아니 겐겐디 다 단징언즈 라마 예담 산지스 앤 디니마 아니 잔주셈바스 아니 냠드 랑게 아니 지 최경의 소바 아니 용스 조바디 아니 겐들로 잡수셔서가야 아니 겐디 군조 살다베디 앤 두수 살다 고고레스.
So we visualize those objects, and in conjunction with that, we go for refuge. So we set up, we go for refuge to the Buddhas, then we go for refuge to we go for refuge to the Lamas, then go for refuge to the Buddhas, then go for refuge to the Dhamma, and we also go for refuge to the Sangha. So then you visualize bodhisattvas, not only bodhisattvas, but also hearers and solitary realizers. You also visualize Dhamma protectors. And as you visualize them in your mind, you give rise to faith, and you recite, I go for refuge to the Sangha.
Terda dinza ani ta gendelo jalshu shivkalaya ta sigdi ngam tenchini ani samya ta chi ani phabi ani ta chanju sembi tsebe ani phabi gende thamjalaya ani something ni ani debaja ani di togi ani khonabi tugandi vesapatu tre ani rangi choni shu ya lunga yesu jubata ani yang vesatre ani thenamji phi chi ani tro chelela soba penata chegyong sobegi ani rangi chuchiwala ani ge pache thamje sesu nyambi meba chela soba odoso kazu thodo chibu dasra.
And you visualize these Sangha members, Arya Sangha. And as you recite, I go for refuge to the Sangha, you give rise to faith in the Sangha. And as you do this visualization, you visualize that rays of light are emitted from the bodhisattvas, from the hearers, solitary realizers, and so forth. And first off, they purify negativities and obscurations of body, speech, and mind. And then again, you visualize that rays of light are emitted from this Sangha, and they give you the blessings of body, speech, and mind. And you think, I've attained them. I've attained those blessings of body, speech, and mind.
어다 딘디기 톤드니 아니 캠로 사바이나 아니 당원 타니기 소사기 열라 아니 진짜 주고라서
Not only you think that you obtain the blessings of body, speech, and mind, you also think that all my obscurations, all my obstacles and hindrances are completely purified. So in this way, you can combine the going for refuge together with visualizing this field of accumulation in front of you.
디만도 당한서 지 라마를 저 산질 저 색들 때는야 강을 겹수 저 유코랑 야지 아니 거기 소지지 에메나 아니 깜주 때니 샘을 전람 주세야지 가고 싶으더라 가고로 왔어.
And when you combine the recitation of the verse for going for refuge with the visualization, then it gives you something to refer to. Whereas if you only recite something without being very clear in your mind, what are you referring to? When you say, I go for refuge to the Lamas, I go for refuge to the Buddhas, I go for refuge to the Dhamma, I go for refuge to the Sangha, if there's nothing that you relate to, if there's nothing that this is connected with, then do you get a special feeling or a special connection in your heart with those objects of refuge? Not that much. So it's really important to not only do it in conjunction with a certain visualization, but also to connect it with the object in the visualization so that you're going for refuge becomes heartfelt.
The doshin that give you self the camera tension, didn't that any give you do sedulous, that give you do not the penatachi and two tanitsu and chickly timchin, tardelia, that to me on the Tuganimo were said to be recited in a jelama yasu yabinangi. That's so and jelami, that and it goes on to the yard and it can be mubachina. Diores, that are.
We've created this visualization. At the end, we also dissolve this visualization. So one way of dissolving it is to visualize that all these beings start to dissolve one to the other from the extremities, right? So from the outside to the inside, to the point in which all those lineage of lamas dissolve into Lama Tsongkhapa, is two chief disciples. All of them dissolve one onto the next, towards the center, until you remain with Lama Tsongkhapa and his chief disciples.
남시 장무가야 푸자바이나 그기 비기래야 빠르치로 되지 안디츠 용친 기니파 매바 차브라지 디나제도지 아니 미바 장고도스.
As you visualize that the lamas are dissolving one into the next from the outside of the visualization towards the center, it's like Geshe said that imagine that when it's cold, if you were to blow some steam from your mouth on a mirror, there will be some mist or fog that is created on the mirror. And then it starts to dissolve from the outside to the inside. So you can visualize it like that.
Tirda oduchin kyayu saltamita pigilayata lamin njung musu gomsa kabdu de lewundi ani godelia ganden hagin gwengi tokani jagoshozo bonduchin shijabu konjelo zanda sed jebane she source nonta ani kanji rang dingi namkalaya ani jelama yasum ani chen tangu goros.
So as it says here, in the sky before me on the lion throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure guru smiles with delight. That's the actual visualization of the Lama. Supreme field of merit from a mind of faith, please abide for 100 eons to spread the teachings.
Jelama chen tang kavaya, kani chen tambati is lamdi, kani chen tambati is lamdi, and Gandhi ma chen tambati is. Gandhi chen Gandhi said, Nidi, 아니 저전 참번 공부기 슝니 차고레스 먼저 담다 야신 주규기 저전 참번 공부인 바스 저전 참번 공부디 타이 땡징기 어디 차고한자 콩 슈사기 네디 야 간네세 거라스로
And as we invite our Lama, Guru, when it says here, my perfect pure Guru smiles with delight, you might wonder, where is it coming from? We send out an invitation, so to speak. So where is that Lama coming from? Well, the Lama is coming from Tushita, the land of joy. Tushita, the land of joy, is where Maitreya resides. Maitreya is the one that is responsible for the lineage of vast and extensive conduct, the vast and extensive practice. Maitreya is like a deity, right? A deity in the form of a deity. He has the form or appearance of a deity residing in Tushita. And we invite Lama Tsongkhapa from that place to come to the space in front of us.
데르다 다 간딩 네디 카와 유메디 세디 제당다 지 잠블린 딘 제비게 아니 양자 망부 지 쳬비게 아니 다카서다 남카 다 제당 아니 제당기 남카라스 로 아니 남자 잠블린 제와 망부 유비 계시 시월디 사마로 아니 네사디 아니 남카 동발에 네고라스 딘전 잠블린 딘 제비게 아니 레마 망부지기 쳬데스기 아니 남카라야 아니 간딩기 네 차요레스 간딩기 네티야 안 잠블링 디 페나 사다 도다 쳬다 신라 소바 안 딘디지기 도도지 차요레스 네 간딩기 네데 쪼 아니 세지 사지 임발야 텔야지 아니 벤리야다 아니 딘디기 rumbu치지 하초비기 아니 트르디유기 아니 네치 디 딜야다지 아니 제당기다 소차 잠다 차데지고 깨님불로 소바 아니 잠다 딘디 여바 디기 아니 대와텔야 아니 지진 참봉공부기 아니 포장 여바 아니 포장 딘텔야 아니 지진 참봉공부기 아니 송전난사 송주라고 여바 다 딘디 가주스베기 아니 레비차 아니 수수 세미나리아 세탑 투구요나 탑구고요사레스.
And if you wonder, where is Tushita? Where is that realm of Maitreya? Well, from the Buddhist perspective, we say that it's not that this is the only existing world system. There are many other planets or many other world systems where living beings and sentient beings reside, and Tushita is one of them. So how far is it from this world? Well, it's very far, you could say. Just like all the world system abide within space, also you could say that Tushita also abides within space. And you can think about it as in a way that is somewhat similar, but also different to this world system. So in this world system, we have not only ground, but we also have mountains and rivers and forests and so forth. So you can also visualize a certain world system, Tushita. You think that rather than having just like this coarse earth that we have on this planet, you can think that Tushita, the planet itself or the world system itself, is made of this precious stone. So you can think of gold and turquoise or ruby or whatever precious and enchanting stone you can think of. This is the very foundation. You can think that there are many beautiful living beings that live in that place. They have beautiful voices, beautiful calling. And at the center of this system, this world system, is Maitreya, residing within his palace, having a big court for teaching the Dhamma. Or in short, you can create in your mind this visualization that is enchanting, that is beautiful. Now, if you think, I'm visualizing Tushita having all those precious stones and gold and so forth, I come to possess all of them. May in the future, I will obtain all these precious stones and so forth. That's not the way to think about it, right? It's a mistake to think about it in this way.
제 nganzu 피기 체 dinangla 아니 마도 사무 메디잠발라 피기 직 세다 롱부치 레슬라원디기 직 쇼지 통치무 통대야지 제마도 온니기 깨와치마 텐데 닝닝기 아니 깨우 담비기 샘나야 아니 사다도 케바메주치 그래서 케바 요 말했다 이까지 케바 요 디지 통과했어.
Actually, when we think of, may I obtain all that gold and precious stones and so forth, it is likely to be done with a mind that is very attached to affairs of this lifetime only. But rather than thinking about it like that, the type of attitude that we develop is the one that actually sees no difference between sand or soil and precious stones. In essence, there is no difference between them whatsoever.
당연히 간댕이 내려야지 아니 자주 깨춘지니 아니 취기다 아니 취tem비기 직 규마체디 용돼야지 배나 아니 신을 써봐 아니 농구기 다티암페 아니 가서 아니 취기다 아니 규마체도 파우데가 된디 간지 내텔야지 깨투바이나 아니 년체 뒤숨이야 아니 취기다 규마체도 파우데사기 아니 내든지
We also say that you visualize living beings living within that realm, Tushita, the land of joy. You have birds and so forth, and you think that they're calling, the voices are teaching the Dhamma. They constantly chirp or call, and they emit Dhamma words and Dhamma teachings. You think Dhamma, teaching of Dhamma is carried by the winds.
That the Jizu Chambang Gombugi, Podang doing the Sonji Ravanolaya, and Jizu Chambang Gombuti and Piggy, that Namju Piggy Church, Shivika, Shuta Maimba, Kidon in the Sugar Maimba, and Shabjat in the Sugar or the List Salta Gogores.
Now, when you visualize Maitreya sitting on his throne, don't think of Maitreya sitting cross-legged in a lotus position. Think of Maitreya sitting on a throne with his leg in the front, just like someone sitting on a chair. Just like Gary. Yeah, look at Gary. Everyone look at Gary. Don't feel intimidated, but everyone look at Gary. So you visualize Maitreya sitting in a posture that is like sitting on a chair. His right hand is in this mudra, right? Mudra of teaching the Dhamma.
Yes.
And yeah. And the left hand is in the mudra of holding a vase. So there's, yes, so Geshe is not very clear about it, but since Maitreya is holding a vase in the left hand, the vase is slightly tilted. There is a flow of nectar that is flowing from this vase.
That the Shudan dig Karchungor Laondi, Shudan di Judun Chamagumbo, Shudan dig on the Tandi Zapaninalia, and Tamashaja Divigi, and Tembati Tarnioros, that Temba dig Chelia, and Java Chambangombo, Judun Chambangombo, Chogu to be number Pondi, and Java Chambangombo Sungores, Java Chambangombi, Temba di Tematalaya, and Tutuyada, and Judun Chambangombo, Tayin Magic. Any Migulaya, to picture children and shoot Devac. Did Now,
if you wonder why is Maitreya sitting in this posture rather than cross-legged, is sitting on his throne with the legs in front, just like someone sitting on a chair. Well, it is said that when the teachings of the current Buddha will disappear from the world, the next person that will come to this world and the next Buddha would be Maitreya. And Maitreya will then give teachings. So this posture of Maitreya signifies that Maitreya is ready, or you can say making preparation, or is ready to come to this world and be the next one that spreads the teachings.
어디리다 비니 지준 참번 공부기 디 탄다 간덴기 하지 근스 간덴 하지 근스라라 간덴 하지 근스 하자세비 아니 지당 비리야 츠기 저당 sample 아니 장강 인색이 장강 말레스 간지 간덴기 내려 유비기 아니 다 탐지기 근단 꺄 본인 진리 아니 주준 참은 거 무시면서 아니 간단하게 지금 그래서
It says from the heart of the savior of the 100 deities of Tushita. It's not that there's only 100 deities at Tushita. You can think of myriad gods or deities in Tushita. They are protectors, they are saviors, and so forth. So from the heart of the savior of the 100 deities of Tushita, on the peak of cloud, resembling a clump of extremely white, fresh curd, and so on and so forth.
들다 아니 디기 투가라야 아니 지 쇼서 본디 춘진서서 춘진디 띵기밍레스 로 아니 띵기밍 아니 ध्यान 찜바디 비기기 아니 까고카장기 아니 쇼사바타와 난신지겨 바치 디기 찜바디 종공 가니레스라운디 아니 지준 참봉 공비기 투규기 아니 심전라 미비기 아니 세번 힌지 참보디 And
when it says from the heart of the savior of the 100 deities of Tushita, on the peak of a cloud resembling a clump of extremely white, fresh curd, right? So you think of this white curd, completely white, pristine white. It is in the aspect of a cloud, but in nature, it is nature of loving concern, of compassionate love to sentient beings.
There's tingi and tingi subnimas, tingi subdelia, and Jeromoche, Yabsum, and said the Chebachi, and tingi sanma, and Shugabachik.
So you think that cloud resembling a clump of extremely white, fresh curd is coming from the heart of Maitreya. And on that cloud, you find King of the Dhamma, Lama Tsongkhapa, omniscient Losam Drakpa, right? So that's Lama Tsongkhapa, together with his spiritual children. You invite them, you say, please come here together with your sons.
There's a deep Tugane and Trebigi, Jiabsu Sumdi, Tanjing on the Javu Self, they will call it Sudusagi. 랑그들이야 제압수여가 텔레마 아니 팀비메버친 장탕 시비 찍기된 냠데 아니 근니마 펼친 랑그딩기 남갈이야 아니 슈비메버치고 버렸어.
So you visualize that Lama Tsongkhapa and his chief disciples take place in the space in front of you. As you say, King of Dhamma, omniscient Losam Drakpa, please come here together with your sons. As you say that, you visualize that they take their seat in the space in front of you.
That Gunzendi and Jeromoche Jantown, Juzun Chambungumbi Tuganima, Jantangoya, Gunzen Carres, Ranganda, Gunzen Tia Gavienza, Gunzen Guvienza, Carres Laundi, and Jeromoche D, and Juzun Chambungumbi, and Namdur Imbadi. Now,
you might wonder, why are we visualizing Lama Tsongkhapa sitting on a white cloud coming out of the heart of Maitreya? We sometimes like asking those questions, but why is it like that? There needs to be a reason for visualizing Lama Tsongkhapa basically emanated from the heart of Maitreya. But the reason for that is we can say that Lama Tsongkhapa is an emanation of Maitreya.
Di Jerumuche Jidun Chamangumbi, number Yimba di Kung Kani Kieva Res Laundi, Tandanganzo, Lota Tujanaka Jansaki, Ani Chuchin Chimichigoras, Ani Kung Ya, Ani Tuta Bepe, Ani Javachana Dorjigi, Ani Nanzu Midaminan Shinchini, Ani Kachunani, Kachu Senchini, Shuyores, Ani Nimachilaya, Lota Tujananga Janzindi. Jatan Jeromichi, Lami Tele Yores, and Jeromichi Kung Dulaya, Chushuza, and Chana Dojigi, Terin Karangi, and Juzu Chamungum Duni, and Chush Gores, or two son Yores, and D, and Shusadi, and Jeromichi Pivinu Yores, Ra, Tig Dugores, Taran, Kanji.
So what's the source for saying that Lama Tsongkhapa is an emanation of Maitreya? Well, there are the narratives of a Mahasiddha called Namkha Gyaltsen, who was a Tibetan Mahasiddha, a great accomplished practitioner. And in the narratives of Namkha Gyaltsen, he said that he was such a great practitioner, such a high-level practitioner, that he came to see Vajrapani face to face. He received teachings directly from Vajrapani. And one day, in the teachings that he got from Vajrapani, Vajrapani told him that today you will come to be in the presence of Maitreya. Today you will receive teachings from Maitreya. And that was the day that Namkha Gyaltsen met Lama Tsongkhapa.
Odiri dinzida, and that two Anzugi Tebalaya Rally Goras, only Suzuki Tebi Jona, and Chojigawa said the Chibi Chinadi, and Jelami Tukani, Jelami Gitachi, and Song Guni, and Nanzu Semia, Tobi Yavadi, Yajatamba Resta, Tebe Machona, Tebe Mandana, and Sanji Duna Yova Inaya, and Rangi Tebe Majona, Sanji Chinab Sedi, Julia Kaburedos, rock.
That requires faith. If you have faith in the lamas, through that you can attain the blessings of the Buddha. Whereas if you find yourself in the presence of the Buddha, but you have no faith in your heart, even though you're going to be in the presence of the Buddhas, without faith, you're not going to receive the blessings. So you visualize Lama Tsongkhapa in front of you, and then as you follow the practice of this, the hundreds of deities of the land of joy, you offer the 7 limbs of worship, which is a practice for accumulating the collections and purifying negativities and obscurations. Many of you are familiar with the 7 limbs, right? This practice for accumulating and purifying.
Lamrim Chinchi Gudin so the Rangulaya and Tobion Tinki, Tobion Togi, and Nimuchum being pumping on the chair di, Gudin so the red was. Dinji Yonya di, and so the Lamin Angel di, and sort of Chagoris, and di Dani, and Yana Dungwani, and Sergeant Chebaina, the drew 2 years rock.
So we connect this with the practice of the states of the path to enlightenment. So we teach the states of the path to enlightenment, or we listen to teachings on the states of the path to enlightenment, and we do that in order to give rise to qualities of realizations in our mind stream. We want to destroy our afflictive states of mind and actualize cessations in our mind stream. And that comes mainly through the practice of yoga that is said to be the life of the path. So we visualize the lamas in front of us. We offer the 7 limbs as practice of accumulating their collections and purifying negativities and obscurations, so that in depends upon that, we will be able to develop qualities of realizations to manifest cessations in the mind stream.
레드드니 양아 두비 건디 땅아주 슈고드나 양아 지마지마 양 빠라빠라 슈초그라 왔어.
So today Geshe touched upon the practice of Guru Yoga. Now, if you wonder, how do I then practice the 7 limbs of accumulating and purifying negativities and obscurations? Well, we will cover some of it in our next sessions, not only one session, but bit by bit, we will also accumulate. We will also refer to the 7 limbs. Shall we leave it here for today?
Just a reminder that next week's a holiday.
Oh yeah, so we have a break next week. We have a break from this teaching, but Venerable Tony is leading a couple of days of money retreat for development of compassion, and this is also something that was requested by Lama Sopa Rinpoche many years ago. So we have been trying all along the years to include every year a money retreat, some days of recitation of the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum and cultivation of compassion. So it's going to be next Thursday and next Friday. Sorry? Just Friday. Friday and Saturday, sorry. Got my schedule completely mixed. So Friday and Saturday, so if you're free, please come. All right, so in dedicating the virtue that we have accumulated together, let's do the dedication prayers. Sancho Ramboche Mate Panati Virji Kepanyamba Mepa Gone Gondun Pewasho Kewadi Nyuluda Lama Sangye Dugyule Dowachi Kyamalupa De Salagopasho Kare Rawe Kowe Shinkandu Andan Yawa Malu Jowe Chenre Siwan Tensi Gyatsoy Shape Site Vadu Dengyuchi Tupsu Chanchi Jangun Yawe Tenzin Kyompe Wilkunzo Dubuzu Chosun Kowe Lemon Tuju Ada Sodu Jikundu Shakin Sho.
Thank you. See you next time.
Oh, okay.
So we could go?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because we kind of came to this internet.
Okay.
But maybe could you help us? You have good ideas. It's your idea, so now I have to your help.
Okay, how's it going?
So we are thinking where to bring the router. And so now we have a main router here. And it's a good place because then we run tables and you see how it looks like. This is the laptop live streaming, and everything is connected from here.